Imagine waking up one morning, stepping into your car, and never having to think about charging again. You park your car at home. It sits outside in the sunlight all day while you work, and when you get back, you load up your family and take off for a weekend trip. The battery is still full. You never have to search for public charging stations, never pull up to a gas station, never mess with a charging cable in your garage. You simply drive. All of this powered by nothing more than the sun, a resource that is free, abundant, and shining every day, waiting to change how we think about transportation. For most people, the term electric car brings to mind a Tesla, or maybe any modern EV with a big battery that needs to be plugged in regularly. The biggest fear is always range and, most of all, where to find the next charging station. In the United States, even as infrastructure improves every year, there are still vast areas where finding a fast charger is a real challenge. That's one of the reasons many people are still skeptical about making the switch to electric cars. But this is where a new technology could turn the whole game upside down. Solar cars are not some far-off fantasy. The first prototypes hit the roads decades ago, but for a long time they were just science projects or wild ideas for university competitions, never something real people could use. That started to change in recent years, when several companies began to believe that solar panels on a car's roof could actually work in daily life. Their vision, an electric car that, at least part of the year, could run entirely without plugging in. One of the pioneers is the Dutch company Lightyear, which began developing the world's first truly practical solar car back in 2018. Their first model, the Lightyear Zero, was covered in high-efficiency solar panels on the roof and hood, several square meters of cells, built specifically to generate power from the sun even on cloudy days. On a clear summer day, those panels could recharge the battery enough for dozens of miles, simply by parking outside. For a typical commuter, that meant driving to and from work for weeks at a time, without ever needing to plug in. If the weather cooperated, the car would produce most of the energy it needed for short daily trips around town. Other manufacturers have followed a similar path. The American company Aptera took things to the next level, designing an ultra-lightweight three-wheeled vehicle with a shape optimized for the lowest possible aerodynamic drag. By combining low weight, extreme efficiency, and the largest possible solar surface, Aptera claims their car could deliver up to 40 miles of range per day, just from sunlight in the right conditions. No cables, no chargers. Just park your car outside and let the sun do the rest. For some, this might sound unrealistic. After all, not every region in the US is sunny like California or Arizona. But even in more temperate climates, solar power on cars still makes sense. Most Americans drive less than 40 miles per day on average, and for many the ability to park outside at home or at work means those solar panels could actually cover the majority of their routine driving during spring and summer. It's not free. Cars with integrated solar panels are more expensive up front, and you still need a standard battery and the ability to charge from the grid for longer trips or in winter. But when you add it up, especially for drivers with short commutes, the numbers start to look compelling. What makes this even more promising is the way solar technology keeps improving. 10 years ago, a typical commercial solar panel had an efficiency of around 15%. Today, panels on premium cars can reach 30% efficiency, and research labs in the US and Japan have already built experimental cells that top 40%. That's a massive leap. It means you can generate almost twice as much power from the same surface area as before. But there are limits. Solar panels will never fully replace traditional charging if you need to drive hundreds of miles a day, or if you drive a large, heavy vehicle. The laws of physics aren't going to change. The surface area of a typical passenger car only allows so much solar capacity. Even with the best cells, you'll get a handful of kilowatt hours on a sunny day, which is great for local driving, but not enough for a cross-country trip. Real-world user reports from across Europe and the US confirm that for city driving and short trips, you can absolutely go weeks in the summer without plugging in. In addition, cars like Lightyear or Aptera solve another annoying problem: battery drain when the car is parked for a long time. With solar panels, the car can keep topping up its own battery, so you never come back from vacation to a dead EV. In the US, companies like Aptera are sharing their data openly, and the interest is growing. There are even German startups like Sono Motors, which tried to launch a mass-market solar EV called the Scion, priced for the average consumer. Their testing showed that during the summer, with regular outdoor parking, the car could add up to 20 miles of range per day for free. The project eventually shifted focus, but the core technology is still alive, being picked up by other brands. That's proof the market is moving quickly and that global demand for solar cars is real. At the same time, established automakers are starting to add smaller solar panels to mainstream electric vehicles. The Hyundai Ioniq 5, for example, offers a solar roof option that can add around 3 to 5 miles of range per day under ideal conditions. Toyota has offered a solar roof on the Prius Prime for several years. It's not a game changer by itself, but if you leave your car outside while you're at work or shopping, those extra miles add up, especially over the course of a year. What matters most is that solar panels on cars make the biggest difference for energy-efficient vehicles and for people who don't drive long distances every day. If you have a light aerodynamic car, park outdoors and live somewhere with a decent amount of sun, you might be able to cover most of your routine driving with free solar power. If you also have solar panels at home, you can combine the two systems, charge your car with your rooftop solar at night, then let the car's own panels take over during the day. This way, you can reduce your dependence on the grid and potentially drive for months without ever paying for electricity or gas. Of course, there are some limits. First, the price. Cars with high-quality integrated solar panels are still more expensive than their non-solar counterparts, simply because the technology is new and not yet produced at massive scale. Second, weather. If you live in a place with long, cloudy winters, solar power alone won't cut it. And if you park in a garage all day, you won't get much benefit from solar panels either. Third, the size of the vehicle matters. A small city car can get most of its energy needs from the sun, but a big SUV or pickup truck will need far more power than any rooftop panels can supply. But this is changing quickly. Every year brings better materials, lighter panels, higher efficiency, and smarter ways to integrate solar into the car's design without sacrificing looks or practicality. Interestingly, these technologies are being adopted not only for passenger cars, but also for commercial vehicles and trucks. In the US, some logistics companies are already testing add-on solar panels on truck roofs to keep onboard batteries charged for refrigeration units and electronics. While these panels won't power the main engine, they do improve energy independence and reduce operating costs. This trend shows how solar technology is making its way into all kinds of vehicles, not just personal cars. Looking ahead, experts agree that over the next 10 to 15 years, solar panels will become a common feature on new vehicles, at least for certain models and markets. As efficiency increases and prices drop, more buyers will be able to choose a car that lets them drive, at least part of the year, entirely for free. Solar will never fully replace plugging in for long road trips, but combined with better batteries and smarter energy management, it's going to make daily driving a lot easier and a lot cheaper. In the sunniest states, we're already seeing pilot fleets of solar cars that rarely, if ever, need to be plugged in. In other regions, the biggest impact may be for commuters, suburban drivers, and people in smaller towns, where short trips and outdoor parking are the norm. So maybe, not so long from now, you'll look out over a parking lot and see cars quietly recharging themselves while their owners shop, work, or relax at home. It's not a far-off fantasy. These prototypes are already driving on real roads, and each year brings higher efficiency, better prices, and new possibilities. A solar-powered car won't be for everyone, but in a few years, it could become a reality for millions of people who want to drive cheaply, with zero emissions, and with the knowledge that they'll never need to wait in line at a gas station or a charger again. The future where your car sits in the sun and fills itself up with energy has already started. It's proof that technology really can make the world better, even in places where we never expected to see such a dramatic shift. The age of solar-powered driving is just beginning, and if the pace of progress keeps up, the days of plugging in could soon feel as outdated as stopping for gas. For more videos, subscribe our channel.